Alright, so as you can see here, I got the multi-MK set up here with UMK3 going, and I wanted to talk about the speed run attempts that people have been doing. Now, P&D Ketchup did a video on the speed runs for UMK3, and he touched on the fact that this little exploit I'm going to talk about isn't really viable on the arcade machine, because out in public, if you go to an arcade that's official and you want to do your world record attempt, you're not going to be able to do this. But if you want to attempt it on your home machine, if you have a machine of your own at home and you want to try the world record, it may not be valid because having access to this exploit is not possible out in the real world unless the person wants to give you access to behind the coin door. And I'll explain all that here shortly. But what it is in MAME, you can map your coin input and your start input to the same button. So for instance, if you're using like a PS2 controller, start, you can map the start input and the coin input to the same start button. So when you push that button, it'll simultaneously trigger a coin input and the start input. Now, it really hasn't been feasible on the arcade machine because you would need access to the back of the coin door to be able to hit the coin switch. And from the factory, the coin switches have a plastic guard over them, so you can't really even do it without reaching up through the bottom and triggering it from the bottom, and it's tough to do. So you got to break that plastic cover off, and even if an operator lets you get access to the back of the machine or the back of the coin door, he's not going to let you break that plastic cover off of there. So it's really not a feasible category out in the wild. So if they end up making a separate category for UMK3 speed runs on real hardware on real machines, they need to break it up into coin input exploit and non-coin input exploit. So if you're unfamiliar with this, I'll show you. I have a wire running from the number one coin input directly to the player one start button. So I basically got them wired in simultaneously. So when you push player one start, it triggers a coin input and a start input simultaneously, just like if you were playing in MAME. It's a very simple procedure, and I'll show you how it's wired up here at the end. But let me show you exactly what this is if you're not familiar with this. Like I say, people have been using this on MAME for years, and it's an exploit where it speeds up the end of the round and gets right to the next round. And if you're doing a world record attempt, it cuts entire minutes and huge chunks off of the run. So let me show you what it does. Okay, I gotta sit down here. Now you can hear when I hit start, it triggers a coin input. Now because on this particular screen, the coin input takes priority, so it won't let me do a start. I'll have to wait for this screen to go away. And then as soon as this goes away, that's usually when the timer will start if you're doing a run. Or as soon as you select your character is when your time starts. So, for instance, if I was to just select Sub-Zero and hit start, my timer would start at that point. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't hit start, you hit one of the buttons. So check this out.
Round one, fight! Well done. Sub-Zero wins. Round two, fight!
See, it skips all of that.
Round one, fight! Round two, fight!
So you can see there how advantageous that would be. Sorry for my shitty gameplay. I don't have the right stool to sit on. I'm 6'3", so it's tough for me to play if I don't have the right stool. My other stool is downstairs. I was too lazy to go get it. So yeah, there you go. I mean, you can wire up the coin input right to the start button and do the coin trick, the coin exploit, just like if you're playing in MAME, the same way. And it works just the same on an arcade machine. It's just as valuable. Now, obviously, if you're in the wild, if the operator will let you do this, hey, more power to them, which I'm sure a lot of them wouldn't let you. If I was out in the wild and I had my machine out at the arcade and someone wanted to do it, I would do it for them, wire it up for them and let them do it. Sure, I didn't care, or I wouldn't care. But if you have a personal machine like this, you can do the same thing and do a world record attempt. And I don't know if it'll count or not, but hey, that's an option. So I wanted to showcase that. It's very easy to do, and it works just fine on the real machine. So let me show you exactly what it looks like. I'll have to turn the light on. Okay, so you can see here that this is that plastic guard I was talking about. It's over the switch. And you can see the metal arm there of the switch. When the coin drops through, it activates that switch and triggers a credit. So what you do is I just took a series of alligator clips and ran it around, clipped them to the white one there, and basically just jumpered it straight to the input for the start button. So the start button and the coin input are sharing an input. So when you push start, you can actually trigger both start and coin at the same time. I gotta turn this light back off here real quick because there's too much of a glare on the screen. All right, let's go down to here. Okay, switch test. So you'll notice here if I push start, it'll trigger coin and start at the same time. And that's how you do it. So it's just that easy. If you have a machine and you want to try this yourself, go for it. But I wanted to showcase that because I'm sure a lot of people were wondering if it's possible. And it is. Clearly, I just showed it. And if you have questions, let me know. But give it a try yourself and see how fast of a time you can get. And otherwise, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more content.